Hey everybody, this is John from Bash, and today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, what happens when you pick up a Choosing Beggar hitchhiker? Let's jump right in. I decided to drive down to Florida for a bit to escape the horrible winter in New Jersey. I'm in my mid-30s and suffer from depression, especially seasonal. I moved back in with my parents after the pandemic started. I was previously living in a tropical country. February is always the worst month for me. This is the first time I've been in New Jersey in February since 2014. I drive an early 2010 Audi S5 convertible, which is a very nice looking car. I was in much better financial shape when I bought it, but things haven't gotten so bad that I had to sell it. I've driven it across the USA twice, once when I moved out to California, and once when I had to move back because I couldn't afford it anymore, and taken many other road trips. I got my first COVID vaccine shot last week. Despite my life not going as I envisioned, I have been feeling immensely privileged. My plan for day 3 of my trip was to drive from Walterboro, South Carolina, all the way to my destination in Tampa, a 6-hour drive. I was planning to stop in Savannah, Georgia to see the Green Meldrum House, which was General William T. Sherman's headquarters during his occupation of the city in the Civil War, and maybe have some soul food. Typical American road trip stuff. I put the top down and head to a gas station across the road from my hotel. After I fill up, I park in front of the convenience store to grab some water and snacks. I return to my car and start getting ready to leave. As I'm sorting things out, setting up navigation, etc., a woman, I'll call her Beth, comes up on my passenger side and asks me if I can give her a ride. Beth's definitely had a rough life. She might be 30, she might be 60. I don't really know how old she is. Her clothes are a bit disheveled but clean, same with her hair. Poor dental care. I'm traveling solo and the front seat of my car has grocery bags, food, and other stuff on it, but no suitcases. I ask her where she needs to go and she replies, just to the nearest truck stop. But then she asks which direction I'm going and I stupidly tell her Tampa. She then asks to go as far south as you can take me. I tell her that I'm planning to stop in Savannah for a while and I can take her as far as there. It's a little over an hour away. Her final destination is Miami, but I don't yet feel comfortable taking her farther than Savannah. I clear off the front seat of my car and throw all the junk in the back. The seat adjustment doesn't work because of some corroded electrical components, and I let Beth know that. It's stuck in a fairly comfortable position, so she's okay with that. I take a mask out of one of the suitcases in the back seat and hand it to her. She doesn't put it on. I'm not sure why I didn't insist, I really should have. What I did insist on was that she wear a seatbelt. She didn't put on her seatbelt at first. I told her that I wasn't going to drive her anywhere without a seatbelt on, and she finally agrees. I ask Beth what kind of music she likes. I want to make the trip as comfortable for her as possible. Fortunately, she likes classic rock, so I put some on. A few minutes into our drive, Beth asks to stop to get a milkshake and a Coke. I offer to get her something more substantial, like a burger or something, but she declines. We find a Burger King, I ask her what kind of milkshake she wants, and she tells me vanilla. I put in the order and pull up to the pickup window. She says, "Oh, I want chocolate." I ask the server in the window to change the order, and they make her a new one. I pay for her milkshake and soda, and she seems surprised. Maybe she thought she'd have to pay for a more substantial meal, but I didn't even hear a thank you. It was more, "Oh, you're paying, okay." I have a burger. Now Beth won't drink her milkshake or soda with a straw. She removes the lids and sips them as we're driving at 75 plus miles per hour in a car with a sports suspension. This of course results in her spilling part of her milkshake. I let her use the single functional cup holder for her Coke. She asks if I have another cup holder, which I don't, and she seems upset about that. After Beth drinks her milkshake, she barely touches her Coke, she takes off her seatbelt as we're driving. She says she has to digest. I have to tell her that I'm going to stop the car unless she puts her seatbelt back on. She does. I feel like I'm dealing with a 5-year-old. We get settled in and we're getting along okay. I don't press on details of Beth's life. All I know is that she has a daughter in Florida and she spent time in California. She claims to have a billionaire uncle in Miami who can help her out. I have no idea if that's true. She also tells me she's 58 and used to be a dancer. I think an exotic dancer, but I didn't press for details. I figure I can keep this up a bit and maybe I can take her farther. As we're coming up on Savannah, I tell Beth I'm planning to drive through Savannah to see the Green Meldrum house, but can continue on shortly thereafter. She says, nah, let's keep going. I've got plenty of gas and I'm not fatigued at all and not hungry, so I agree. We'll just go straight to Jacksonville, which is 2 more hours south. I figure she's probably anxious to get home. I guess I can see the landmark on my way back. After we pass Savannah, Beth asks to stop for another milkshake and Coke. We're in a pretty sparsely populated stretch. I get off the highway and there's a convenience store and restaurant, but no drive-thrus. She won't get food there. She insists on ordering from a drive-thru. We get back on the highway and drive to the next exit with a drive-thru. We're waiting in line at the second drive-thru of our afternoon, a Dairy Queen. Beth still has plenty of Coke left, but says she wants to get a new one. Most of the ice is melted, so I understand why. She points out that there's only one cup holder. I tell her she can dump the old Coke. What she does is chuck the whole cup out of the window into the parking lot of the Dairy Queen. We weren't alone, there were other cars there. I'm pretty upset about her littering, so I put the car in park, go around to the passenger side, and pick up the cup. It's not like I would ever see the other drivers again, but I did not want to be some butthole in an Audi convertible from New Jersey who litters on someone else's beautiful state. We get our order at Dairy Queen. This time I make it clear I'm paying for the meal. She gets a popcorn shrimp combo, which is fine with me. At least she's getting some protein. But she ends up eating barely any of it. She once again refrains from using a straw to drink her milkshake. Once again, we've got 2 straws, and she spills more. At one point, I put on a news radio station. After a few minutes, she says, let's listen to something else. Aside from these hiccups, things are cordial and pleasant. She initially asks to be taken to a truck stop in Tampa, but I want her to be safe, so I offer to buy her a bus ticket. At least this time I got a thank you. It's $44. I only have $40 in my wallet, but I know she has some cash on her. I stop at the Greyhound bus terminal in Jacksonville. She accepts my $40 and heads inside. Now, I really should have taken off, but I decide to have a snack and rest for a few minutes. As I'm getting ready to leave again, I see Beth walking toward me. I ask her what happened. She says, they won't sell me a ticket. The lady said they were sold out and I should come back in a few hours. This happened last time too, even though I told her I had the money for a ticket this time. It was the same person as before. Had to censor for the sub, but you can insert your own racist comments. I can't say I was shocked at her racism, but man, I was just trying to do something nice for someone in a bad situation. And she had already been at this Greyhound station in Jacksonville and gotten in trouble before. My guess is that whomever she's going to see in Miami wants nothing to do with her. If you've read this far, thanks for listening to my rant. I just took an unnecessary risk for someone pretty rotten. At least she's safer now. I don't know. In story 2, a choosing beggar can't understand why he only gets what he ordered from the restaurant. As a small restaurant owner, I come across people that belong on this sub every day, but this one really got to me. The other day, this dude I know was pissed he didn't get any extra food with his order, and he came down to tell me in person. Granted, when things were normal, I would throw in a couple extra wings or fries for regular buds on a busy night, common practice. But things are obviously different these days. My profits are stretched even thinner, so no more freebies. At least way less. This dude is also in the industry and should know this. I explained this to him and he said it was messed up and that next time he ordered to please be sure to make it worth his while. Seriously? I told him to just not bother ordering anymore until he figures out why he's being an ass. This is John from Slash Bash. Please hit that like button to help with the YouTube algorithm, and make sure you have subscribed and have notifications on so YouTube can let you know when my next video drops. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.